Tonight, a surprise announcement by the Premier in Moose Jaw. Former and current FNU employees raise concerns over leadership. And Ottawa provides funding for a downtown hub.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Generally, when politicians host a press conference, everyone involved knows what the announcement is. But today in Moose Jaw, the Premier announced a shelter that would be built away from the downtown, something city officials just learned moments before. Mick Fable has more.
Premier Scott Moe and government officials met in Moose Jaw to discuss the homelessness situation in the city and ways to improve the issue, including a surprise initiative, the construction of a new John Howard Society shelter, which would put a roof over the heads of some of Moose Jaw's most vulnerable.
We must remember that, as we see people that unfortunately may be living without a home, there is a reason behind that, whether it be mental health, addictions, or something else. But they're somebody's brother, sister, somebody's often mother, father, and certainly somebody's child.
The announcement catches city officials and others off guard.
This was just brought up to me this morning, so talks will begin.
We're just finding out this today as well, but I think there's been there's a lot of passionate business owners that are worried about their livelihood, and we're trying to come up with ways to be compassionate.
The John Howard Society has been operating Willow Lodge in downtown Moose Jaw for over a year. It's also news to them that they may be moving out of the area.
Our first question is, how will this affect clients? I think ultimately Moose Jaw does have a homelessness problem that needs to be dealt with, and we're not sure how moving the shelter away from downtown will make that easier for clients to access the programming. It'll likely actually make it more difficult, but ultimately we want to make sure that the clients have easy access to services.
According to the province, the decision was made on feedback from concerned business owners near the emergency shelter. In recent years, the city has seen a rising number of those dealing with homelessness. A number of groups have started to help solve the issue in a positive way.
This program is near and dear to my heart because I've now learned the struggles that all these people have gone through and how hard it is to actually get out of them unless you have somebody that's going to make you be accountable and strive for more.
A point-in-time count was conducted in Moose Jaw, which determined there were 76 people experiencing homelessness in the city, with the possibility of 150 total in 2024. Double the number than the year before. Premier Moe also adds that the relocation will not mean a reduction in services. Discussions between the city and ministry on potential new locations have now begun, with more dialogue expected in the weeks ahead. Mick Fable, CTV News, Regina.
Yorkton RCMP are investigating a suspicious death in the city after the body of a man was discovered. Just after 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, officers were called to a residence on the 100 block of Victoria Avenue, where a deceased male was located. The Major Crimes Unit is asking residents on that block to check home security or doorbell cameras for anything suspicious between noon on October the 5th to noon on October the 7th. Anything found or any information on this crime should be reported to RCMP or Crime Stoppers. A group of faculty members at the First Nations University of Canada says they have lost confidence in the university's leadership and board of directors. They say there has been a troubling exodus of university staff and an absence of good financial stewardship. Wayne Mantika has more.
A group of faculty at the First Nations University say they are feeling the impact of a deficit that they believe is nearing $2 million.
So what I'm seeing here is our university spinning in a downward spiral in a really bad way. We are financially unstable.
In a written statement, the group of faculty say they have lost confidence in the university's leadership and board of governors. They feel excluded from conversation about university matters.
As someone myself who has stood up and sent letters to the board, I'm marginalized as well now. So I know that it's happening. I've watched it and I've experienced it.
Those behind the statement have not identified themselves for fear of reprisal. It follows leak of a 2023 Deloitte report commissioned by a previous board that found evidence of budget overages and breach of some university policies. Alan Adam is a former board vice chair who says the investigation was prompted by a whistleblower.
Whistleblower laws come into effect, that the person who did the whistleblowing had to be protected and that they were not to be fired. And we found out soon after that that person was fired as well too. So
Adams says he subsequently resigned his board position.
now we just have to live with whatever the outcome is going to be, and hopefully they make good changes so that the university can be on good standing.
The provincial government is following the controversy.
But our Minister of Advanced Education will be certainly keeping abreast of that particular instance. But I think largely you're going to find that their funding arrangement is with the federal government.
The current board chair has been contacted for comment about the faculty concerns, but has yet to respond. However, in a previous statement, the board said it has full confidence in the university's leadership. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Regina City Council is moving forward with a property tax exemption to nonprofit childcare centers in the city for an additional 5 years. At Wednesday's meeting, Council unanimously approved extending its current bylaw, a 40% property tax exemption to nonprofit childcare centers owned or leased by the city. City Council also decided to raise its leisure fees from seasonal to hourly to groups who use athletic parks and fields, including Mosaic Stadium and Leibel Field, although various Regina recreation groups vocalized their disapproval. The city says the proposed fees schedules will bring in over $1.7 million in revenue over 3 years. The change will go into effect starting 2027. CTV News has confirmed the scrapped Keystone XL pipeline did come up during Tuesday's meeting between Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump. Sources say it was raised in the context of linking energy between the two countries. CTV also confirmed the conversation was also related to possible relief on steel and aluminum tariffs. Now, in the original proposal for the expansion, the new pipeline would have a section crossing from Alberta through southwestern Saskatchewan into Montana. An existing Keystone pipeline already runs a more direct line through the province before turning south from Manitoba into the Midwestern states. The expansion proposal was halted in 2021 by the Joe Biden administration, and Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe says he's supportive of any efforts to revive the project, especially as Alberta tries to push forward on plans for a separate pipeline to the Canadian West Coast.
That would really provide us with some tremendous opportunities to expand a number of industries, not just the oil and gas industry in Alberta and Saskatchewan, but open up some rail capacity for us in the potash industry, for us in the agricultural industry, as well as shrink the basis on every barrel of oil is there, which essentially is a $10 to $12 price increase for Western Canadian oil.
Moe says he feels Canada is well represented by Carney in international trade relations, including through the Prime Minister's most recent meetings in Washington, saying it seemed to be a positive step forward, going on to say he's optimistic about Canada's economic future. Saskatchewan NDP claiming Premier Scott Moe has flip-flopped his position on tariffs toward electric vehicles from China. NDP MLA Alenia Young says data from Statistics Canada shows Saskatchewan's trade with China is down 35% this year. She says the numbers are even worse when comparing August last year with the same month this year, with trade down 76%. Young says that Canadian tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles are likely the cause on China's tariffs on Canadian canola, as well as you have pork and peas, which is really causing the loss of Saskatchewan jobs, wealth, and mental health.
Whether or not there are tariffs on Chinese EVs is a federal issue, but the Premier of Saskatchewan should be standing up for Saskatchewan, and the Premier of Saskatchewan ought to be saying every single day to the Prime Minister of Canada that these tariffs need to be scrapped. They have a disproportionate impact on livelihoods in Saskatchewan.
It's actually the NDP that have flip-flopped. It's not that many months ago where they said you shouldn't be going on trade missions, criticized each and every trade mission we ever went on, campaigned on closing down our trade offices, including the one in China.
Premier Moe recently visited China on a trade mission in hopes of easing trade tensions between the two countries. Today was the grand opening of a brand new elementary school in Moose Jaw. This is the city's first joint-use elementary school, which is now home to Coteau Hills Elementary and Our Lady of Hope Catholic. The school was built at a cost of $68.2 million and can accommodate up to 1,100 students from pre-kindergarten to grade 8.
kids feel very comfortable in the spaces. And if you take a look at our halls and you take a look how the classrooms kind of flow into the open areas, it provides really an opportunity for kids to interact and collaborate together. Also in terms of our instructional aids and the way the rooms are set out, kids will be working together, sharing ideas, and they're going to be developing those 21st century learning strategies to help them be successful in the future.
The new facility includes a multi-purpose cultural room, a shared kitchen lab, and a childcare center with space for 51 children. All right, Sabine joins us for our first look at weather and quite a warm day across southern Saskatchewan.
Yeah, we were back into the 20s for many parts of southern Saskatchewan, Lee, and we will still see possibly another day this week in the 20s before the real cold temperatures decide to, and I'm real cold. There's going to be colder. We know there's colder. But if we take a look at what we saw today, as you can see on the radar satellite, it was a pretty calm day when it comes to active weather. We did have the wind picking up in parts of the province, gusting up to about 40, 50 late this afternoon. Temperature-wise, though, even looking at them now, we're still sitting in the 20s. Moose Jaw 24, 20 in Regina, and even further up north, Buffalo Narrows, just a little bit cooler than what our average normally is. And that average usually is about 13, 14 degrees. We warmed up to 24 late this afternoon. And like I said, there's still another 20-degree day left before this week ends, and I'll talk more about that coming up. But there is also a word we don't want to talk about, which is also coming up this weekend. Lee?
Holidays. I like holidays. Revitalization of downtown Regina just got a big boost thanks to a major federal investment. Prairie Economic Development Canada has awarded $920,000 to the Regina Downtown Business Improvement District and partners, which will all go towards the construction of the Gordon Block project. The land, located next to Hill Centre Tower 1, will one day be a hub to celebrate local business, arts, and culture.
Being able to provide that link between the different food and beverage locations in the downtown, I think having unique places to go. We haven't really seen anything like this outdoor event space in Regina at this scale. We really want to engage the community because it really is a space for the community.
Construction will begin in the spring of next year with a grand opening sometime in the summer of 2026. Arguments today between the Crown and defense over the fate of a former Christian school director found guilty of 9 counts of assault with a weapon. The Crown wants jail time. The defense is requesting a conditional discharge. Stacey Hine has the details.
In July, a judge found 65-year-old John Olibaboken guilty of 9 counts of assault with a weapon. Court heard the incidents happened while he was a director at Christian Center Academy from 2003 to 2007. The school has since changed names twice, first to Legacy Christian Academy and recently to Valor Academy. During the trial, 9 former students testified that Olibaboken hit them with a wooden paddle. At his sentencing hearing, 5 victim impact statements were read in court, many detailing long-lasting emotional damage.
Because we were children and there was that power imbalance, there was never an opportunity for us to speak. So being able to give our victim impact statements, redacted as they were, was still powerful in, he was forced to listen to us in that moment.
The Crown is seeking 2 years less a day behind bars, followed by 3 years of probation. It's also recommending anger management and personal counseling as part of the conditions. Defense lawyer Ron Piche argues a jail sentence would be excessive, saying Olibaboken has no prior criminal record and has received several letters of support. He's asking for a conditional discharge, which, if granted, would mean Olibaboken avoids a criminal record if he meets court-ordered conditions.
He can tell anybody he has no criminal record, he can apply for a passport, can apply for jobs. He's from Nigeria, he'd like to travel back home. So there's a lot at stake here.
Judge Lisa Watson has reserved her decision until November 20th. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
It's an important week for the National Fire Protection Association, looking to educate the public for Fire Protection Week. Damien Smith shows us how firefighters in Moose Jaw are teaching the next generation.
Heroes, right?
Yeah, I felt like a firefighter.
Middle school students making a big splash at a fire hall in Moose Jaw, learning a hands-on approach to firefighting.
It's great when you get to deal with kids who are smiling and happy, and you get to show them the best parts of your job, and you get to have that community aspect. It's why a lot of people become firefighters, is because you get to do a little bit of teaching and a little bit of sharing what you do.
The students taking part in 3 different stations, including a snake pit, a relay where they dressed up in heavy-duty gear, and hit a target with a firefighter's greatest symbol.
It was hard to do it. Like, it was heavy, and I was like running. I was so sweaty.
It was my first time trying it on, actually, and it was really heavy, and I was like sweating inside. Like, when I was running, I was like struggling to breathe and stuff like that.
This year's theme of Fire Prevention Week is lithium-ion battery safety, where the Moose Jaw Fire Department educated over 300 students in the local area.
And so we get to bring awareness to that topic, being lithium-ion batteries, this week, and just a general safety discussion on fire alarms and smoke detectors and that kind of stuff, as well as getting the kids to kind of see what we do in their community, because they always get to see us ripping around in trucks, but they don't get to meet the people who are in them.
Lithium-ion batteries are common in today's homes, being used in electronics, power tools, toys, and more. They can overheat, catch on fire, or even explode when they are mismanaged. The Moose Jaw Fire Department advises people to buy reputable products, use manufacturer-approved chargers on hard, flat surfaces, and recycle batteries properly instead of throwing them in the garbage, so that everyone can stay safe during Fire Prevention Week and beyond. Damian Smith, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
Still ahead, the Prime Minister was on the tariff hot seat in the House of Commons. And fashion mogul Peter Nygard had his sexual assault charge stayed in Winnipeg.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is back from the nation's capital in Washington without any tangible trade progress with the U.S. Carney faced tough questions in Ottawa at the House of Commons from the opposition as the U.S. Commerce Secretary dismissed any deal that would address auto tariffs. Mike Lacouture is the latest.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is back in Ottawa without a deal on tariffs. However, CTV News can confirm the Keystone XL pipeline was part of yesterday's discussion at the White House.
Prime Minister, did you and Mr. Trump agree to revive the Keystone XL pipeline?
We had very good discussions on a wide range of issues, and I look forward to talking to Parliament.
A source with knowledge of the discussions in the Oval Office yesterday confirms reviving the Keystone XL pipeline was raised between the two leaders. The extension would bring Alberta crude into the U.S. It was in the context of more energy cooperation between the two countries, but was also linked to relief on steel and aluminum tariffs.
Certainly, it could be another one of the levers that increases North American energy security, and so it certainly warrants exploring.
South Bow is now the proponent of the project, and while the Canadian company isn't privy to conversations between the governments, a spokesperson tells CTV News, quote, South Bow is supportive of efforts to find solutions that increase the transportation of Canadian crude oil. While a pipeline may be possible, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is dismissing the prospect of an auto deal with Canada. Sources say at a Eurasia Group summit, Lutnick said the Americans could continue buying auto parts from Canada, but that's about it.
Auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. On Parliament Hill, Opposition Leader Pierre Poilievre called out the Prime Minister for not getting a deal in D.C. and promising more investment in the U.S.
The Prime Minister went pathetically to the White House to offer a $1 trillion gift, bowing before the President in weakness.
We have the best deal with the Americans, and the third thing that's true is we will get an even better deal because
A source with knowledge of the Oval Office discussion describes it as a very initial conversation to see if President Trump would be interested in reviving the Keystone expansion. Mike Lacouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Charges against Peter Nygard in Winnipeg were stayed today, meaning legal proceedings against the former fashion mogul have been halted for now. Nygard's lawyer argued the charges should be stayed because reports drawn up after 2 police interviews with his accuser were later destroyed. Nygard was charged with sexual assault and unlawful confinement 2 years ago. Police say a woman alleged she was assaulted at a warehouse back in 1993. He was sentenced last year to 11 years for sex offenses in Toronto. It's being called a Canadian first. The Toronto hospital has performed a transplant using a heart that was revived after the donor died and the heart stopped beating. It's something that could save more lives and certainly gives hope to those on a wait list. Heather Wright has more.
Nearly 1 million Canadians are living with heart failure, many waiting for a transplant that may never come.
Many of them never make it to actually get that good news, that phone call that we found a heart for you. So this will provide hope for them that there will be a heart.
That hope is care of a new procedure Dr. Syed Ali Reza Rabi performed in early September at Toronto General Hospital. A heart transplant from a donor whose heart had stopped beating. The first time this cutting-edge procedure has been performed in Canada.
The heart is warm, meaning that it's not cooled to protect it, and it is not getting oxygen or nutrients. So this is a vulnerable time for a heart. So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
Typically, heart donations come from people who are brain dead, but oxygen is still circulating in the body and their organs are still functioning. This procedure, first pioneered in Australia a decade ago, will open the pool of possible donors, and early data suggests the outcomes are similar.
And it looks like there is no difference between the outcome of the hearts of people who've received hearts from a traditional brain dead donor versus circulatory dead donor.
Right now, who is eligible for this procedure depends on where they live, as doctors don't want the donated heart to be outside of the body for more than an hour. But there is hope as new technology becomes available. Hearts will be able to travel anywhere in Canada, saving many more lives. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, how the Prince Albert National Park is using the Waskesiu River to restore the ecosystem.
The countdown to kickoff is on. Thursday on Your Morning, how the Saskatchewan Roughriders are preparing for their lights-out game against those dastardly Toronto Argonauts.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your weather as we head into tonight and into the end of this week. A beautiful sunset. I was going to say sunshine, but a beautiful sunset in the Queen City as we head into this evening. Temperatures still sitting in the 20s. As I mentioned earlier, we warmed up to about 24 degrees late this afternoon. Winds were gusting up to about 45 around noon or just earlier in the afternoon there, and now they have calmed. So we're seeing those winds at just over about 15 right now. Now heading into end of this week into the weekend, we will start to see those winds pick back up again. In terms of active weather, we didn't really have anything in terms of precipitation. Saw a little bit of cloud cover rolling through parts of the northern Saskatchewan, but central southern Saskatchewan saw a lot of sunshine throughout today. That'll continue into tomorrow and into Friday. However, we will notice the wind will start to pick up, like I mentioned, by Friday. So what's to come? Well, as we head into this evening, we'll just continue to see the clouds moving from the north into Manitoba, and we'll continue to see clear conditions by Thursday. You can see most of the province seeing clear conditions, and even by Friday morning, continuing to see sunny conditions. Winds not too bad by Friday morning, but as we head into the evening, we will start to see those winds picking up, gusting close to about 50 into the evening. Starting to see a little bit of rain in the southeast by Saturday morning, and that rain is just the beginning. By Saturday evening, lots of southern Saskatchewan could see some rain arrive, and then by Sunday, a lot of rain arrive. But in terms of what we got temperature-wise tonight, still sitting above seasonal. Lloydminster a little cooler, -1 tonight, but warming up back into it just above the average. 15 degrees for Lloydminster, 14 for Prince Albert, and even up in the Loche, 13 degrees tomorrow, 11 for La Ronge, so a little cooler than the average, but not as bad as what it could be. In terms of North Battleford, 16 and sunny, 14 and sunny for Saskatoon tomorrow, 15 with a mix of sun and cloud for Yorkton, and the southwest still seeing those temperatures above the average. Tonight, a little cooler for Maple Creek, dropping below 0, 16 tomorrow and sunny and 16 for Swift Current and Moose Jaw, warming to 17 tomorrow with nothing but sunshine. The southeast, a little warmer, 19 expected for Estevan tomorrow, 18 for Weyburn, and 17 and sunny for Assiniboia. If we take a closer look at Regina, 4 degrees tonight, winds up to 40, and then tomorrow 17 degrees and sunshine throughout the day tomorrow with the winds up to about 30 kilometers an hour. So what's to come for the next 7 days? The icons did not move for me. There's always something. I know Lee's shaking his head. 17 and sunny tomorrow. Friday is where this logo should be. Is game day against Toronto. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. The temperature around 7 p.m. will be about 15 degrees, feeling like 13. By the time the game ends, it'll be closer to about 9 or 8 degrees. So you're going to want to probably dress in layers if you are heading to the game, and we will continue to warm up as we're cheering on the team Friday night. By Saturday, sunny. We'll still have a warmer day, 21 ahead, and it's not until we get into Sunday. So the rain arrives Saturday night. By Sunday, we could see anywhere between 15 to 20 millimeters of rain throughout the day Sunday. As we head into the evening, the temperature will drop below 0. That means the rain could possibly turn to flurries. So by the time you wake up Monday morning, temperature is a lot cooler. By Thanksgiving Monday, my little friend Turkey should be here on Monday. High winds expected on Monday as well. And Sunday, we could see those winds pretty high as well, around the 70 mark. 4 is the expected daytime high, and then we'll see the rain return Wednesday. But it's mostly on Sunday where we could expect to see the snow arrive.
It'll mostly come on Sunday?
Yes, Sunday evening.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
I'll be fine. It'll melt.
Okay.
I hope. Thanks, Sabine.
Bye.
With the summer becoming more of a distant memory, Prince Albert National Park is set to start a fall project, which they hope will fix issues with the Waskesiu River. Carla Shinkruk has more.
Shore of the Waskesiu River in Prince Albert National Park. These rocks should have water flowing over them, but they're dry. That's because this stone weir system called a riffle started failing in 2023.
The riffles were being completely bypassed in 2024, primarily due to severe weather events and high water coming through the area and starting to erode the banks.
It's bypassed here into the forest. The summer of 2025 is now behind them. It was a problematic one due to the early wildfire season and pre-evacuation orders in the park, coupled with a fire entering the park, then one of the worst blue-green algae issues in the lake's history.
Something that we'll continue to be watching, and certainly climate change could be a part of this. As the climate naturally warms, water temperature will naturally warm. People could probably get used to seeing more in the future.
Officials aren't making a direct correlation between the low water levels and algae on the lake and what's happening on the river, though. Now, however, focus is turning to repair this river system to avoid further damage for plants and fish.
It's not working the way it should. That's why we have to restore it, get it back working over the weirs, because then there's no restriction for the fish.
That means reinforcing the river's shoreline, 60 meters of the banks in front and behind the bridge, extending 15 meters past the riffle, aimed at correcting the flow.
September, October, November window is the only time we're allowed to work in the river due to environmental considerations. That limits when we can do the work. We got everything, the design done and everything in place so that we could do the work this fall.
It's hoped visitors make up for any lost time this summer.
There's still time to get out to enjoy. In my personal opinion, as an enjoyer of the park, it's a much better time because all the pretty fall colors are out.
Tourist areas remain open throughout the fall and many even into the winter. Carla Shinkruk, CTV News, Waskesiu.
They might be a win away from clinching first in the West, but former CFLer Wes Cates has some major concerns about the Riders. Details in X's and O's.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
Earlier this season, it was the receivers feeling the brunt of the injury woes for the Riders. But ahead of this week's matchup against the Argos, 4 starting defensive backs are listed as out, including Devon Campbell, who is tied for the league in interceptions. He's going to be out for a 3rd straight game.
Brown looks to his right, throws to his right, and that is taken away. Intercepted, and they're going to
Now that's giving more opportunities to younger players like Antoine Brooks Jr. Brooks had 2 interceptions this season, including that pick 6 against the Red Blacks last week, his first CFL touchdown. Brooks says he's been patiently waiting for his chance to shine.
Honestly, it was just knowing the playbook and knowing what I need to do for all positions, even on special teams. I think that's just what it was, just patiently waiting and then talking to my brothers and talking to my coaches and making sure I would succeed.
Also out in the Riders secondary, Nelson Lacombo still out. Roland Milligan Jr. is going to miss this one. Jackson Ford still out. Marcus Sales, by the way, did not practice all week. He is listed, though, as available for Friday night. Welcome to another edition of X's and O's with Wes Cates. The Saskatchewan Roughriders can clinch first in the West and get that bye to host a Western final with a victory this week over Toronto, or if Calgary loses in Hamilton. 2 chances there. They've got a record right now of 11-4, Wes, and yet all I can think about and all I'm hearing is a lot of concerns with this team despite their 11-4 record, and you do have some concerns, whether it's the kicking game or even just an offense that just doesn't seem to put teams away.
Yeah, I mean, Lee, really, Calgary, and obviously the Riders and Calgary are struggling right now. I mean, 2 teams that look like they were running away with it, and now they can barely get wins. I mean, obviously, the Riders went and got a good away win, albeit against the worst team in the league in Ottawa. But you look at what's going on with Calgary, I'm sure they're going to lose one. So you can say we're going to lock up first place. But at the end of the day, we went into Ottawa, and you barely squeaked out of there with a 7-point win. You won the turnover battle, got a couple of short opportunities to score, didn't really capitalize on them, and then it took some big plays from guys like Dante Myers to actually get those points that you needed to have the victory, and then a big play from AJ to keep Ottawa from scoring on the defensive score. So you take those things into consideration. You look at some of the numbers. Trevor Harris still had a big game throwing the ball, 350-plus yards, I think, or 340, something like that, and you're not too worried. But if you look at all the things, if you put the whole game together, it just wasn't a clean game, and it just wasn't a convincing win for a team with a record like this. So I think they really have to continue to look in the mirror and continue to find ways to get better, because this isn't good enough. And then I didn't even talk about the kicking game. Lowther gets sit down. Campbell Fair, 2 missed extra points. I mean, so basically we have no kicking game, no short kicking game right now anyway.
Yeah, the American, we'll see what he can do. Michael Hughes, if they play him, they could go to the Canadians, but man, it is messy. And we've seen teams that go to the playoffs and lose on kicks, so that's something that the Riders got to figure out quickly. You did mention the play by AJ Ouellette. Let's touch a little bit on that, because the effort was amazing to catch up and stop that touchdown. Do you have any instances where you saw that?
Yeah,
you did that?
You know what's funny is I did, and for me it was kind of, I feel like AJ has already proven himself to his teammates and is a leader. But when I was in my first year with the Riders in 07, we were in BC. Obviously BC was kind of the top of the league at the time, and we went into BC and got a big win. But they had a punt returner, I can't think of his name, but anyway, he was returning a punt up the opposite sideline, and because I was new with the team, I was still playing some special teams from my special teams time as a rookie in Calgary, and I actually ran him down from the backside, got a tackle around the 15-20 yard line. Defense held him out, and we managed to go on and win that game. And I felt like that play solidified me with my teammates, my new teammates, as a guy who meant business and was really ready to put the work in for a championship. And it kind of was the catalyst to us having that confidence to go on and win in 07. And I feel like these are like moments, these are plays. That play by AJ was the type of play that really might show some of the younger guys, or maybe the guys that haven't been given their all, well, if he's going to go out there and put a play like that on film and go make sure that Ottawa didn't score so that we can have a better chance to win, then maybe I need to step my game up. So kudos to AJ for making that type of play. I know he was just doing what came to him to do, but those are the type of plays that really catapult a team into everybody on the squad putting those effort plays on film every chance they get.
So they're going to play Toronto at home, obviously, in a lights-out game. Won't be Nick Arbuckle, won't be Chad Kelly. It's going to be Jared Dagey. Doesn't have a lot of experience. Had a bit of a rough ride against Hamilton when he filled in for Arbuckle. So all the cards are in line for the Riders to win this game. But will they play down to the opponent? We'll have to wait and see and take a look at that on another edition of X's and O's.
X's and O's, brought to you by Campion College at the University of Regina.
WHL, the Swift Current Broncos and Moose Jaw Warriors put in a little overtime work last night.
They're changing up as well. Panalakis comes in. Shot! Scores!
Hudson Darby's third of the season was the winner as the Broncos beat the Warriors 4-3 in overtime. Noah Kosick led the way with a three-point night for Swift Current. Broncos improved to 4-2. Warriors are 3-2-1 with that extra point. On Friday, Swift Current hosts Saskatoon. Moose Jaw goes to Red Deer. Coming up, Saskatoon looks to bring an AI data center to the city.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. And it's still looking quite sunny. Temperatures not as warm as maybe today, but we're still seeing those temperatures a little warmer than average, if not right in the average range. Like areas Hudson Bay, Melfort, Watrous, Spiritwood, all sitting at 14 tomorrow. Nothing but sunshine. 15 for Lloydminster and Wynyard. 13 for Meadow Lake. 16 for Kindersley and Outlook. 17. All seeing a whole lot of sunshine tomorrow. When we get closer to the southern border, some of those temperatures might get a little closer to 20 degrees. Like Carlisle, Cornack, expecting to get to 18, 17, Broadview, Pilot Butte, Lumsden, Assiniboia, Rockglen, even all the way up into the Rosetown Leader area. 15 for Kenora, 16 for the Southwest, Maple Creek, Easton Cypress. Nothing but sunshine expected all day tomorrow, including Southie, located just north of Regina, and where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. 15 degrees tomorrow, nothing but sunshine with the winds up to about 30.
As artificial intelligence becomes more common, the demand for AI data is on the rise, and one might be coming to Saskatoon. Hallie Mandrick explains.
This former cannabis growery in Saskatoon could potentially become a major hub for artificial intelligence.
I think Saskatchewan has a lot of strengths in terms of becoming a hub for data centers in Canada. Certainly we have, again, the talent, the AI research happening here. Obviously the cold weather helps with keeping these units cold, or can help.
An AI data center holds the computing technology that stores and processes information required for artificial intelligence. A number of organizations, including the Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce and AI Saskatchewan, are advocating for the space to be converted into a large-scale data center. While AI tools may seem quick and simple for users accessing the technology with their smartphones, it actually takes a significant amount of space and energy.
It's probably the most challenging piece of the puzzle as this sector is getting built out. The energy demands in particular with training-based data centers, are significant.
This particular site was built to grow and study cannabis before it was legalized, meaning that the building is incredibly secure. And it has 36 climate-controlled rooms to potentially store the technology, which produces a lot of heat.
8-inch concrete walls throughout, 8-inch concrete ceiling, 16-inch concrete floors so that they wouldn't dig in. That was the big worry. With growing cannabis, it was all grown with halogen lights, which required massive amounts of power and massive amounts of cooling.
While a significant number of Canadian citizens, businesses, and institutions are using AI, Boyle says the majority of already existing data centers are located in the United States.
So we need to manage the risk of having all of the data secured in another country. And we need to start thinking about how to onshore that data, and that is sovereign compute. So that if a geopolitical situation were to arise which would threaten our ability to access that data, we can mitigate that risk because it's onshored in our own country.
While this facility has the foundation to become an AI data center, it will remain empty until an investor comes along willing to oversee the retrofit and operation. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
And as temperatures cool down, Regina's city golf courses are in their final 2 weeks of the season. The city says all golf courses will close for the year on October 14th. More than 135,000 rounds of golf were played at city-run courses, with golfers set to be welcomed back in the spring. Trails at the Tor Hill Golf Course will be used for cross-country skiing, skate skiing, snowshoeing, and other winter activities. Let's take a look at the stock markets. TSX was up 150 points. The Dow Jones dropped very slightly, just 1 point. The Canadian dollar It went down again, down 1/100 of a cent to 71.65 cents U.S. On the commodity front, gold was up $57.19. West Texas Intermediate crude up 70 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude is up 22 cents. And gas in Regina is found a little lower now as it has dropped. It is sitting at $1.30.9 cents per liter.
Is raising its takeover offer of MEG Energy, even though the MEG board already approved its original offer. The new proposal values MEG at $8.6 billion, including debt, and that's $7 million more than the first offer. Cenovus says shareholders had requested changes. Strathcona Resources also has an offer on the table, but MEG's board has urged shareholders to reject it. The union representing striking Canada Post employees says Ottawa's trampling on the rights of workers. CUPW is meeting with the minister in charge today after he announced sweeping changes for the Crown Corporation while contract negotiations were still underway. Gold prices are still on the run, with bullion climbing past $4,000 U.S. an ounce yesterday and then gaining ground today. The U.S. government shutdown is the latest uncertainty, sending investors looking for a safe haven. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Two of them.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, we've got shifting gears. George and Mandy's first marriage, back-to-back. The Amazing Race starts at 8:30. The Floor starts at 10 o'clock. And Sabine, no, there are not two Big Bang Theories.
I noticed. It's interesting.
It is interesting. Maybe people are watching the Jays. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, after some health challenges in recent weeks and a social media post from her sister that prompted even more concern, Dolly Parton assured fans today that she's doing okay.
I know lately everybody thinks that I am sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here. Anyway, I wanted to put everybody's mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate, and I appreciate...
A 79-year-old said she took a break from filming commercials today to record the message. She says she had neglected her own health a little bit during her late husband's illness, but she's receiving treatments and she's not ready to die yet. She recently canceled a number of performances and revealed she was dealing with conditions related to a kidney stone. So I guess she thanks her sister for panicking everyone on social media.
Everyone did panic, including some of us in the newsroom.
There was a ruckus.
We had a moment yesterday.
Yeah, but you gotta take things with a grain of salt on social media.
That's right.
Finally tonight, perhaps Sabine's job might be on the line.
Yeah.
Right here we got in the south, we got Leader with 18, Maple Creek with 20, Pilot Butte with 21. We'll get that dub for y'all. Shout out to Rider Nation. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with CJ Rebus. Game day forecast. Let's get it.
I mean, we can't deny that he's way better than I am.
And CJ, don't feel bad. I've heard several reporters on air call it Pilot Booty a couple times.
I like
on air.
he fancied it up and said Boutte.
Yeah, he put some
and added a little dance. Like, are these tips that I should be taking on how to do weather?
Maybe the dance part. I don't know.
I mean, also, I am looking for someone to backfill me. So
true.
I'm in need.
Well, he plays safety right now for the Riders. Kind of does everything, linebacker, safety. So
I don't know how that helps.
Maybe we'll have Revis on air. We'll see.
We might. Yeah.